Hello and welcome mathematicians to the next best practices video for third grade. In these videos, we will share what one could expect to see and hear in a mathematics classroom learning about multiplying multiples of tens and hundreds. What do you notice? What do you wonder? I see some trading cards of two students in the pictures. I notice they're in piles of the same value. I wonder how many cards Atticus and Eloisa have. I wonder which student has more trading cards. I wonder if any are worth more money than my very rare Pokemon cards. In this third grade unit, students will explore multiplying multiples of tens and hundreds. This scope will encompass the following key learning goals. I can use place value strategies to multiply one-digit whole numbers by multiples of 10 through 90. I can recognize patterns when multiplying numbers by multiples of 10. I can use place value strategies to multiply one-digit whole numbers by multiples of 100 up to 900. And I can recognize patterns when multiplying numbers by multiples of 100. Happening in the classroom to help students achieve these goals. Remember, the goal is that students multiply one-digit numbers by a multiple of 10 up to 90 or a multiple of 100 up to 900 by utilizing strategies such as repeated addition, number lines, base 10 blocks, and composing and decomposing numbers. Here we see snippets from some of the STEMscopes explores. Notice that students can use base 10 blocks and paper plates to represent equal group strategy concretely. Other strategies such as number lines and arrays in videos 3 and 4 can help students see linear and area models. By exposing students to different strategies to solve, we can show the connection between place value and multiplication. It's important to have those math chats to discuss strategies, make connections to their peers, and dive deep into why it works. Remember, we're striving for procedural reliability for this standard, which means we're looking for students to demonstrate methods that can be used reliably every time. The types of questions we ask students will help dictate the types of conversations our students are participating in. Here are a few examples of math chat questions from STEMscopes. Notice that these questions are open-ended and elicit thinking and explanations from our students. For example, what strategies can be used to count the total number of items? And what is the relationship between the number lines you made and the other models you have created? As students engage in explorations and discuss their learning, we should hear mathematical vocabulary being used by both the teacher and students. Here is a list of some of the possible vocabulary terms we would hear in this scope. Of study, we should see multiple opportunities for students to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding. This could include student journals and exit tickets during the explores and show what you know tasks as a follow-up. You may see anchor charts around the room that look like this. Students may also use fluency builders with games to practice and elaborate on their content knowledge, or standards-based assessments to check for understanding. These activities provide the teacher with informal and formal assessments to gauge the student's understanding throughout the scope. We definitely want to ask students questions to better gauge their understanding of the current content. Here we see a couple of different questions we could ask to gauge their understanding of multiplying multiples of 10 and 100. These example questions and more can be found on mathsmarts.com or by clicking on any of the benchmark links in the instructional guides. Students can continue their learning at home and most likely would want to bring home an engaging task or activity. This activity is taken from the STEMscopes parent letter. Here, students can play a game called Blank Groups of Blank. Create cards with numbers 0 through 9 in one pile and multiples of 10 or hundreds in another pile. Have the student pick a card from each pile, like the example 3 and 300. The students can write the situation as 3 groups of 300 and draw a representation to match their situation. We hope this video was helpful to identify some great examples of what one could see and hear in the math classroom for this scope. See you next time for another best practices video.